This holiday season, we're focusing on decreasing stress because, as you probably know by now, stress causes all kinds of symptoms from head to toe, whether it be forgetfulness or bloating or constipation or whatever it may be. Stress can cause all the symptoms. In fact, most heart attacks happen in the morning because stress is the most in the morning because our waking hormones are stress hormones and they rise in the mornings. That stress causes heart attacks. So, what can you do this holiday season to reduce the stress that you're placing on yourself? One of the things you can do is say no, and I talked about that in my previous video on how to say no in a kind way and feel kind while doing it. Another is to set boundaries. When we set boundaries for pets, like don't jump on the couch or don't eat the pillow, and we set boundaries for children, like don't watch YouTube late at night or don't watch YouTube at all, but only watch my videos, of course, that's allowed. But so setting boundaries for children and pets seems easy, but setting boundaries between adults can sometimes be difficult. But it's important to know that if you don't set boundaries with your family, your friends, your coworkers, your boss, then ultimately you end up being taken advantage of. And that's not good for you because then you'll eventually resent them and end up not being able to do whatever that person is asking you to do. So this holiday season, I'm going to encourage you to practice a simple boundary. And you'd be surprised by setting simple boundaries how much people will respect you for those boundaries. And at first it can feel very uncomfortable. But Brene Brown made the quote, I choose discomfort instead of resentment. I love that quote because if you set a boundary, it might feel very uncomfortable, but if you don't set that boundary and that person does that thing to you, then you end up resenting them. Which one would you rather? Would you rather the discomfort of telling them that boundary, or would you rather resenting them for breaking that boundary that they didn't even know existed? So this holiday season, set boundaries for yourself, whether that be with your children, your family, your coworkers, financial, maybe there's spending boundaries. If you stay within those boundaries, or maybe it's someone else with financial boundaries, you need to set your spouse or your partner spending boundaries, your children spending boundaries. If you set those boundaries and you stick to them, then you will feel less resentful and thus less stressful this holiday season. And of course, if you have less stress, then you have better brain function and more energy and less bloating and all of those things that go with less stress. So practice this holiday season finding balance and being less stressful by setting boundaries. Start small.